Oh man, not a second season. Yes, Matthew's World, season 2. So I'm right now out with COVID, so I've got a little bit more time on my hands than usual, and it's a lot of downtime, quarantine time, that type of thing. So I'm not out and about like I normally am, and I'm trying to actually rest. So But anyway, that's leading me to research a lot of stuff. And I watched The Highwayman the other night for the second time with Kevin Costner. Wonderful movie. I recommend it to everybody. It's a great film. It's centered around Frank Hamer, who ambushed and executed Bonnie and Clyde. Now, Bonnie and Clyde, I've always been amused with. One of the earliest biography specials I watched was about Bonnie and Clyde when I was probably about 8 or 9 years old. Go figure. That was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. Biography on A&E. And anyway, I bring this up to say I've always been, it sounds a little weird to say a fan of theirs. I guess I'm a fan. I don't know. I'm kind of amused by their story. But anyway, I was doing some research and I was looking up some stuff. I was listening to an interview with Buddy Barrow. I believe that's his name. I believe he's the nephew of Clyde Barrow. I think that's right. Anyhow, so I looked up an article about something. I was searching something and I found out that the home place of Clyde Barrow and that family, that was also a filling station, had been torn down. And I remember the Carpetbagger, or one of those YouTubers that tours and goes places. They had been to this place. So this just happened like a year or two ago. And the pandemic happened, and I understand that. But what really got me, and I'll post the article in this too. What got me about this was, in the article, what blew my mind was the fact they had already put forth an effort to get historical landmark status so they could preserve this place for history. And the owner of it decided to pretty much tear it down anyway. I know of some other situations where that has happened. The church I grew up in, it happened there. They closed down, and I wanted to get historical landmark status. We never could get it going, and it got torn down and sold off and all this other stuff. And all I'm going to say is this. I'm a huge fan of history and the preservation of history and the preservation of artifacts. So I just encourage everyone who has a similar passion in any respect to advocate for that. And in those situations, do the best you can to advocate, because it's not right to lose history. Places that could be restored, places that could be preserved, places that tell a story. And that is one place that told a story. And I'm talking about the home of Clyde Barrow. Okay? That's absurd that they would tear it down. So anyway, I just want to encourage all my fellow historians out there and fellow people who are passionate about this type of thing. Make sure you advocate. Make sure you advocate. It's got to be more than a vlog. It's got to be more than a blog. It's got to be more than an essay. It's got to be more than a protest. You got to get involved, okay? I'm preaching to the choir here too, talking to myself. So let's just make sure we stay active with these things so we can preserve history for the next generations to come. It's not fair that they lose history because of our negligence. Look at the film crisis. I just listened to an interview with Martin Scorsese, talking about how much film was lost. It's absurd, We're losing history. So, and there's always lessons to be learned in history. So do what you can. Advocate for these things. That's all I ask.